Hello, welcome to Levant TV headlines. Iraqi army troops backed by volunteer forces have managed to liberate several other areas of the embattled city of Tikrit in the northern province of Salahuddin from the Islamic State. UNICEF's representative in Syria says countries should negotiate with Islamic State to persuade it to let the UN Children's Agency into areas the militants control. The Turkish Coast Guard opened fire to stop a cargo vessel carrying 337 mainly Syrian migrants heading towards European Union waters and arrested the suspected traffickers. Finally, opinion polls have put Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party 4 seats behind its center-left rival, with 4 days to go before a general election. And global political and business leaders have gathered in Egypt's Sharm el-Sheikh for a 3-day conference. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi hopes will bolster both foreign investment and his international standing. Now let's have a look at top Middle East headlines. Starting from the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that Qatar's Foreign Minister Khalid Al-Atiyah says talks aimed at pulling Yemen out of the crisis are open to the Houthi militia, which seized power in Sana'a last month. The paper also reports that King Salman bin Abdulaziz of Saudi Arabia replaced the housing minister a day after pledging to speed efforts to end the shortage of homes in his first address to the nation since becoming monarch in late January. And from the Lebanon, the Daily Star reports that Foreign Minister Gibran Bassil confirmed reports that the UAE has decided to deport 70 Lebanese individuals. The paper also reports that US Ambassador to Lebanon David Hale said the international community is in full agreement on the need to protect Lebanon from the unprecedented turmoil unfolding in the Middle East. The Egypt Independent leads reporting that the energy crisis of Egypt that had reached unprecedented levels has produced promising investment opportunities for private sector companies in a package of projects that the government intends to offer at the Sharm el-Sheikh Economic Conference. The paper also reports that Indonesian officials confirmed that up to 32 Indonesians have been detained in Turkey or gone missing after being suspected of trying to cross into Syria to join the Islamic State. And now papers here in London. The Telegraph leads Middle East News reporting that Islamic State militants have accepted a pledge of allegiance by the Nigerian-grown Boko Haram extremist group. The development comes as both movements are under increasing military pressure and have sustained setbacks on the battlefield. The Independent leads Middle East News reporting that a man has been arrested in Turkey for allegedly helping 3 British schoolgirls crossing into Syria to join ISIS, according to the country's foreign minister, who accused him of being a foreign spy. A European security source familiar with the case said that the person in question had a connection with the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. The Guardian, also from the UK, leads its Middle East section reporting that major world powers have quietly begun talks on a UN Security Council resolution to lift UN sanctions on Iran if a nuclear agreement is struck, a step that could make it harder for the US Congress to undo a deal. The talks coming following comments from US Secretary of State John Kerry, who told Congress that an Iran nuclear deal would not be legally binding, meaning future presidents could decide not to implement it. And now international papers. From Germany, the Deutsche Welle reports that following a new report on the international community's failure to mitigate Syria's civil war, the UN Children's Fund has warned that ever more children are at risk of becoming disenfranchised. UNICEF said about 14 million children across the Middle East are suffering from the escalating conflict sweeping Syria and much of Iraq. And finally, the International New York Times reports that senior US officials say the Islamic State is facing growing dissension among its rank and file fighters and struggling to govern towns and villages it has seized. But the militant Sunni group is still managing to launch attacks and expand its ideological reach outside of Iraq and Syria. And for more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye for now.